Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here. In fact, at my age, I'm excited to be anywhere I do not have to eat stewed prunes and wear Depends.
Yep.
My goodness. This morning I woke up with the sun shining on my face, felt so good. I said, honey, man, it felt so good. It's been so cold these days. It felt so good having that sun shining on my face. She says, Joaquin, last night I went to bed and forgot to turn off the light. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Joaquin, and I happen to be three minorities rolled up into one. I'm Latino, I'm disabled, and I'm happily married. Well, that's what the old lady tells me anyways. Funny thing is, before I got married, I used to think a man was king of his castle. After I got married, I learned that my castle, it's under matriarchal rule. I happen to be totally blind, and I thank God for that. Because my buddies have never asked me to drive the getaway car. Police can't use me as an eyewitness. And most importantly, I will never get asked the scariest question every man dreads. Does this dress make me look fat? No, not at all. Contraire. That dress certainly does not make you look fat, Dad.
No.
Guess what, you guys? This year, my wife and I will be celebrating our 24th wedding anniversary. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll be honest with you, we have had our share of ups and downs. In fact, we've had more ups and downs than a bipolar cholo at a lowrider convention. Check this out. 3 days after we married, we opened up our fourth cafe in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's right. Within 3 days of getting married, we went from the bride and groom on the wedding cake topper to the Pillsbury Doughboy and Betty Crocker. And I knew it was a perfect match, man, because of the slogans. The slogan for Betty Crocker is ready when you are and when you aren't.
Okay, that's good.
And the slogan for the Pillsbury Doughboy is nothing says loving like something from the oven. And I love them muffins. And ever since then, we've been together 24/7, man. Everywhere I went, she went. Everywhere she went, I went. In fact, if I was a Girl Scout cookie, I'd be a tag-along. Finally, at one point, my wife says, Joaquin, I love you. You are the light of my life. I truly appreciate who you are. But seriously, stop following me to the bathroom. When people hear our story, they just can't believe it. They see things like, what's your secret? How do you do it? I couldn't stand being around my wife or husband that long. I need me time. What you're really saying is that you married somebody you can't stand. And I don't get it. That's like ordering a 6-cheese pizza knowing that you are lactose intolerant. At first it is so yummy, hot and cheesy, just can't get enough of it, right? But once it cools off, you don't want to have nothing to do with it. And you know it's not going to end well. As for me, there is no secrets. I truly adore my wife. The biggest difference between my wife and I is that me as a man, I have less brain synapses and filters to process. Honey, you want to go eat some fast food? Yeah. I'm happy. Honey, go sleep on the couch. Yeah. I'm happy. Well, that's what the old lady tells me anyways. I think my wife and I waited too long. Oh no. When the first time my wife got pregnant, she hated me. Because she's a smallish, petite kind of woman, and she got as big as Larry the Cable Guy. That's right. Biggest difference between Larry the Cable Guy and my wife is that Larry wears bigger bras than she does now.
Oh, gosh.
My wife was eating for two, Larry was eating for too many. And I gotta tell you, the morning sickness was terrible. Every morning when she got out of bed, man, I'd run straight to the bathroom and start throwing up. That's right, man. And the funny thing is, to make things worse, when my wife was pregnant, we both gained weight. And the mood swings were insane. Honey, it's okay. Sit down, relax. It's your hormones making you moody. No, I am moody because you are eating all the Haagen-Dazs, fatty. Oh, man, I gotta tell you. Have you guys ever heard of the term peasing?
Easy.
Guys?
Yeah.
It is when a pregnant woman sneezes and pees herself.
Oh.
And she can't help it. That child of yours is using your wife's bladder as a trampoline, you know, wee, wee, wee. In fact, I think that's where the term wee wee comes from. Well, in my wife's third trimester, she sneezed and peed herself. I should have said, God bless you, but what came out was, oh man, that sounded like a wet one.
Oh.
Yeah. So to get back on her good side, I did what any loving, supportive husband would do, man. I sneezed and peed myself. Oh man, she got more mad. I don't know what was worse. Well, maybe I should not have done it in the middle of Lamar's class, you know. But I don't know what was worse, that I sneezed and peed my pants, or that my pants were Lululemons. Yeah, actually, I think my wife and I waited too long to have kids, man, because our first child came out wearing a fully groomed handlebar mustache. Yeah, no, it was actually more of a Fu Manchu. She takes after her mama. Actually, we have 3 daughters. I love them to pieces. The oldest is the apple of my eye, and the second is a peach. And my baby, oh man, my baby is bananas. Yeah, they're fruit of my looms. Yeah, back in the Garden of Eden, Adam noticed that he was the only one there without a partner, you know. The lion had his lioness, the tiger had his tigress, the deer had his dearest. So Adam went to God and says, God, can I have a mate too? God said, Adam, I can create the most beautiful, loving creature that'll wait on your hand and foot. No questions asked. Fulfill any desires you could ever have. But it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Ooh, well, that's kind of steep, God. What can I get for my funny bone? Well, if I boil it long enough, you'll end up with a laughing stock.
Oh.
How about what can I get for my spare rib? A creature that will constantly challenge you, Adam. One that'll teach you in equal measure the difference between ecstasy and extreme frustration. I'll take it. All right, Adam, lay down and go to sleep. When you awake, all will be ready. So Adam goes to sleep, and when he wakes up, standing before him in all her feminine glory is Eve. Adam takes one look. Oh, man. God is good. Eve takes one look at Adam and says, oh, man. God, what are you thinking? You see, the difference between Adam and Eve is that when God made Adam, God used only one ingredient, and that was dust of the earth, right? Which means Adam was basically a simple creature. For God's sakes, it took him nearly 100 years to realize he was the only human in the Garden of Eden, you know? But when he made Eve, God took his time to improve the species. He took Adam's rib bone, he added a little bit of sugar and spice, and everything nice. So now, when you compare the two, you will notice that Eve is much more pleasing to the eye, has a nicer rack of ribs, and can do things that Adam could never do. Eve gave birth to a world of nations. Did you hear that? Eve gave birth to a world of nations. The only thing Adam could do that Eve could not do is write his name in the snow. As I mentioned, my wife and I have been married 24 years, and after 24 years, things have started getting stale in the romance department, if you know what I mean. So I suggested that we try a little bit of role playing. I pretended I was a magnificent Latin lover, and she pretended she was interested. What I failed to realize is after all these years that my wife's role has changed. It's no longer all about me anymore. It's about the kids. Men, you will notice as your little family expands, so will your waistline. All those lovely romantic nights with your beautiful wife are just a distant memory, much like your hairline. So just remember, the next time you guys get mad and get into an argument, that you are walking a fine line, Jack. Don't get mad. Just say, I want my rib back. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. My name's Joaquin.
Okay, all right.
And I'm open to playing anywhere if you guys know some
How many